to our You Evolve Maximum Action Plan training. On the screen today with me, or on the training, both myself, Ryan Chamberlin, and Brig Hart are going to be sharing with you some information, some best practices that have been developed, learned through the years, really decades within the industry, but accumulated from not just myself and Brig's learnings, but accumulated from working with lots of people, thousands of people. I'm excited to have on with me Visionary Ambassador Brig Hart. And before we get into any teaching, training, or preliminaries, Brig, why don't I kick it to you? Welcome the group and kick off our training officially. So everyone, welcome Mr. Brig Hart.
Thank you, Ryan. Welcome, everyone. What a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Never going to be another day like today, so let's make the most of it. I like to start our day just as our go-getters are taught to give thanks, but we're going to teach something today about never doing anything that you can't point to in writing. And there's a purpose in that, and we'll get into that. But if you're in the very last pages of your map book, I'm already pointing to it, it talks about our commitment and welcome to our family. And one of the things we profess is we're believers. It doesn't mean anything about religion or anything. It has to do with the relationship with the one who created us. So what we like to do is start, as most people have kind of forgotten their roots, we are going to return to our roots and say, look, we just acknowledge that we can't do this on our own. We could try and probably not get the results we want. So why wouldn't we welcome the supreme creator of the universe? We call him God, and he is God. Why wouldn't we ask him to bless us? So that's what I'm going to do. And we actually talk about doing that in here, that's our commitment to you, that our foundation for understanding and truth will always be our plumb bob, the Word of God, the Bible, the truth. So let's pray. Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for these people. We thank you for this opportunity to be able to share with folks an opportunity to achieve, to do greater things with their lives than they've ever done, and to be able to influence others to do the same. Father, we're all drawn to success of all types. And Father, that encompasses physical, financial, emotional, and spiritual. So Father, we speak a blessing over this time today where we will be teaching the value of getting good, reliable information. Father, I pray that you prepare the hearts, the minds, the souls of the people on this call. May this be a productive call so that, Father, they can not only get the wisdom from the experience we've had, but they would gain understanding to be able to use it in a mighty way so that they can progress, so that they can replicate that and progress the hope in others. Father, we turn this over to you. We ask you to anoint this time. We pray for your wisdom. We pray for your favor. We pray for your anointing. And Father, we just ask a blessing over every person, their homes, their families, and their extended family through their organization. Father, we call them all diamonds. In Jesus' name, amen.
Awesome stuff, Brig. And let's roll. Hey, it's time to go. We've got lots more people, locations all over the country, countries coming on. And let's just kick off this teaching with a couple things. First of all, these are exciting times, everyone. In Evolve Health, it's exciting. Things are just all coming together. And today's training is going to be all about simplicity. It's all going to be about taking your business to another level, the way you think about your business to another level. But on the corporate side in Dallas, things have just come together. Years of effort have come together. Brought individuals like Sam Castor to our company, helped us take our foundation and our focus to another level. We got some fabulous new products that are breakthrough products. We've got things that we can talk about and be excited about, and that is translate into this tool today. Now, we're going to talk, Brig, and I'm going to kick it to you because I want to open up with talking about the importance of this tool. And one of the things that I want to say, I've got just a couple of notes on it. That is, we want to be able to point to everything in writing. And as I think about this, I think, we've got several tools out there. We've got, with You Evolve, we've got a planning calendar. We've got a formula to success. We've got the core formula brochure. We've got a launch big brochure. We've got flip charts. We've got applications. We got all the stuff that we need. And we've got go-getter cards. We've got the things that help support. But guess what it all points to? Now it all points to a maximum action plan resource. And so if you really think about it, we don't have to necessarily be overthinking every little piece of tool that I just held up. We just have to really focus on the one thing that represents and points to all these tools. And of course, we're going to use the tools. We're going to promote the tools, but really it's all in one system. You know, it's not necessarily about the book, but it is about the book. It's about the principles inside of the book. But this book is not going to make you go diamond. Now, if you have your book, you want to keep this book with you. If you don't have one, you were probably sent an email with one. It's a map book training. We're going to be putting it up here. It's a PDF. You can look at it your own way and read through it. But we're going to go through this book and talk about the principles, the highlights. Obviously, we're not going to read every single word, but we're going to hit you with everything that we got. And remember, this book is not, having this book doesn't make you go diamond. Taking action on the principles within this book forces you to go. I mean, it guarantees that you'll go diamond. Really, having this book and knowing this training eliminates anything that might be holding you back from thinking you could go diamond. If you follow this, it's going to happen. Brig, tell us a little bit about your perspective, the importance of this map book before we actually dive in and get into the content.
Amen. Thank you, Brian. Folks, the map book, I think the origination of it is very simple. In my first career in networking, I realized I was in the people business, and I realized that people were asking what I was doing, what you're doing, what's Ryan doing, what the people that are doing that are succeeding and getting the results they wanted. We're in a business, folks. This is a direct marketing business. We call it relational marketing. I call it inspired influence as the leadership side of our business, but this is referral-based marketing. We put people in a business, we refer them to information, and then they can grow if they apply, as Ryan says. This was put together because when I was asked, Brig, could you come in and share with us what you're doing and how you're doing it? So folks, I wrote it down. I'm an ADD kind of a guy, so I wrote down what I was doing. And between 85 and 2000, I had created what was called an 8-step pattern, and I put it in a pocket calendar. I just put the pocket calendar in there, and I realized how powerful this became. But this was a reference manual. I can tell you that all the tools that Ryan just mentioned are kind of cliff notes to this, because this is your syllabus. For now, let's call this your mini operations manual, because this is what I was doing. We're going to get into the 10-step pattern, but even more important than that is how it's framed. This is a tool. A tool. As a carpenter needs a hammer and a saw and a plumb bob to build a home, him just showing up with a rock, he's not going to get the same results as those people who bring the proper tools. This is a refined tool that'll help you to build your business because it's information that is made available to you. And what's neat about it, this is not the operations manual. We have much more than this, but these are the cliff notes to that operations manual. So it's a mini operations manual. We don't get into all the detail. That's why we have a system. A system provides you with the details of these highlighted things that you can do. This is enough to get you on track, to get you going, so that you're not off track. Remember, you're on a journey to success. What this becomes is the most valuable asset. Any of our tools, this is the most valuable asset for a couple reasons. It's not just the information on what, why, and how, what we did to succeed and what has still worked. This is a proven pattern. There's proven attitudes. There's information in here that people have gone before that have got the results. Everyone on this call wants. By the way, this is a call. It's a voluntary call. And by the way, I like that because you dialed in. You chose to participate. You want the information. You decided you want this. Now, interestingly enough, that we're not giving unsolicited information. It's one of my rules. You give unsolicited information, it falls on deaf ears. You're wasting your time. You're not being productive and effective. when people ask me, what do you do and how are you doing it? When I literally wrote down the activities I was doing, 2 things were birthed, and we'll talk about the Go-Getter program, the daily activities I was doing, but what I was doing in a systematic cycle that was getting the results of sponsoring a few people, who sponsored a few people, who turned into large organizations, who turned into rock solid organizations and profitable organizations. It went from small groups to large groups. And it was this 10-step pattern done with the attitude. The attitude's key, because that's why there's more to this than just the 10-step pattern. It's all in the attitude. So it's an exercise in futility when you're trying to tell people something they don't want to hear. You all want to hear this, so we're going to get into it. When you find out that people, the 4 things we do, and it's in the 10-step pattern, the last thing is the asking question side, what you're going to realize, having a system and a systematic way to build, you'll now be able to point to the answers. We're going to start quoting page number and verse. Why? Because, folks, we're equipping you to do the work others have done. And by the way, we know the answers to the questions. We also know the ones they need to be answered and the ones that are not. If they're not in here, guess what? They don't need to know it. They don't need to know it to build. Now, does that mean we keep back from them? No, not at all. Great question. We'll get to that. In the meantime, let's go ahead and get that list. Who's the first person you'd want to share with, and let's get you healthy in the process. This is our goal with these tools, is bottom line, and I'm even going to point to the 10th step in the 10-step pattern, is to replicate. Yes, build, manage, and maintain a business. That's what a systematic, this is what this map book will do. You'll be able to have knowledge. How do you build your business? How do you maintain that? Because people, how do you maintain an organization of people, personals and in depth? Build, manage. How do you manage your time? That's why you have a calendar, and that's why we teach you how to put the big rocks into the small rocks, and we value that time. So the thing is, but build, manage, maintain, here's key, 10, to replicate. Our goal in this industry, you got to be able to replicate the activities that have given you the results, the desired results. That's what this information does. So our goal is to be able to replicate the activities that produce volume and growth, both personally and professionally. So get ready. We're about to put in your hands a tool that it's going to become very valuable to you. Don't want to go anywhere without it. People want to see you with this. So Ryan, let's get it started. Here's what works. Here's what's worked for us, what'll work for you, what's going to work for the people that are coming in your business.
All right. Hey, Brig, great kickoff. The importance of this, when people are asking us questions in the field, if we are able to answer them quickly, simply, in a way that everyone has access to immediately, think about how fast that speeds everything up. A lot of the questions that people ask, we don't even have to send them to a website to get answered when it comes to building their business. They just open up their map book, and here we go. All right, so it's 11:15 Eastern. We're right on schedule, Brig. I'm looking at it. We're kicking off. We were scheduled at 11:15 to be done with our intros, and now we are rolling into some teaching and training. So let's open up our map books. We're going to go back and forth sharing our screen here. Every once in a while, we'll go back and forth with what we're doing as far as the map book, so we can begin. Obviously, page 1 is a cover. When you open it up, page 2 is a calendar. We're going to talk about a calendar in a little while. You've got your information, your personal information that you've got there. You got a table of contents on 4 and 5. We're going to follow some of that throughout this and go through it. But really what I want to spend the next 15 minutes or so is kind of hitting the highlights of pages 1 through 20. 1 through 20, 1 through 21, we're going to talk about going all the way through that. So let's kick it off with page 6. And here's the way it's going to work, everyone. Brig and I, he's got permission to cut me off and jump in and add something as it hits him. I'll try not to cut him off, but he's got permission to cut me off at any time. Matter of fact, using this style system, there's been hundreds of millions of dollars of earnings on this call. The majority of that by Brig Hart. So we're talking about something that absolutely works, that has been proven, that's been tested. This is not an experiment. We're not wondering if this is going to work, everyone. Here we go. This is the way it works. So,
Ryan, there is an order to things. So it's important that people read this. 1 to 20 sets the vision, the mission, the goal, the attitude, and the mindset. So this page 1 through 20 is real important. Hit it, Ryan.
Let's look at page 6. And I'm going to hit some highlights. I'm going to leave it up to you to read, reread, and reread what you reread as we get off. But let's jump right to it. Brig may come back and go over some things that jump out to him, but I want to kick off by saying this. Success is the progressive realization of a worthwhile goal and dream, and there's 4 things needed to succeed.
Yes.
You're going to hear us always talking about the dream. See, what motivates the people that really build a big business. Hey, and we're not upset if someone wants to build a small business. We high-five them. But those that are dialing in on a Saturday for 2 hours, we're expecting you want to build a big business. Here's what usually is in common. I'm going to say it is in common. People that build a big business in this industry go after one thing: freedom.
Yes.
Tying their results back to freedom. They want to be free. They want to have the liberties to reach their God-given potential without being suppressed by somebody telling them when they can go on vacation, when they got to go to work, what time they got to get up, what time they got to get off, how much money's in their account, how much they're worth per hour. You know, we could keep going on and on. It's all about freedom.
Yes.
You know what? You got to work hard and smart. You know, some people say, I want to work smart, not hard. No. The people that make it work smart and hard. They may be doing it for the first few years to get your freedom going. You may be doing a call at 10 o'clock at night. You may be meeting somebody for breakfast at 7 a.m. You may have to get off work and drive 2 hours to go help a group and then get back home, that night. We're not saying that you do that forever. We're saying you do that to get free. So over the next year or two, guess what we do? We follow this. We put some hard work, smart work, and we buy back the next 30 years of our life, rather than working for somebody else for 30 years and having maybe a year or two that we can do something
and
else.
Ryan, that's the mentally tough. The hard part is the mentally tough, because there's nothing hard about taking this pen and drawing a circle or flipping a flip chart. That's not hard. It's hard between this 6-8 inches between these 2 ears. So you got to learn to get mentally tough. And how you do that is equipping yourself so that you are equipped with the information that'll get you the results. So you're mentally tough. This will produce if you'll just do it. And it may be hard to accept. That's kind of the hard work. The hard work, having a plan A job and a family and all the other commitments you have. So planning your work, working your plan, that may be hard for you. And that's the kind of hard work, getting in the car and driving 3, 6, 8 hours sometimes to get to somebody that's going to be a diamond in your business or lead you to a diamond. That may be hard, but you follow this pattern. That's the smart thing. Do not get up. This is MAP, M-A-P, a map to your goals. So you stay on that 10-step. You don't get off. That's working smart. So the hard part is getting mentally tough. This is going to help you to get there.
Absolutely. And that's number 3, the PMA, 99.9 of all success is attitude. That can't be, there's not even a more true statement anywhere in this book than that, because no matter how much of the how-tos if we don't keep the attitude right, we're not going to do the work that needs to be done. And more importantly, we're not going to attract the right people. You just can't do it. The vehicle is number 4. That's legal, honest, moral, and ethical. Ladies and gentlemen, it does matter the vehicle that we're a part of. Yes. We're not here to say this is the only vehicle that could set somebody free. It just may be one of the best, most exciting, most rewarding, because think about what has to happen for you to get free. In our case, you're going to have to impact not only your health, but the health of the people around you and in your sphere of influence and people that they know within the people that are referred to this. But guess what? You're going to end up helping hundreds, maybe even hundreds of thousands. Some of you that are watching this have no idea why you're here. But guess what? You're going to impact and save the lives of potentially millions of children through this. Not only the local benefits as well. So what other kind of vehicles are out there that someone can begin on a part-time basis? Look what Brig's holding up there. You got that. And so What a purpose-driven vehicle. That's what I want us to talk about. The reason Ryan and Jenny love this particular industry is it can be a purpose-driven industry. We're definitely with a purpose-driven company, and when it's thought about correctly, you can get passionate about it. You know, our mission on page 7 at the beginning says, helping other people evolve starts with a strong and committed corporate culture as the foundation to build a legacy company. I'm not going to read the rest, but think about the opening sentences of what we are about. And let's get proud of that, ladies and gentlemen. When we really believe in something,
yes,
we almost don't have to even have scripts of what to say because it comes out of us. You know, I'm looking down this page and I'm scanning a few of these things because I know we were covering a lot, and you can read, obviously. You're going to see what our membership model is about, what our marketing strategy is. See, yes, we have a specific model. We have a specific strategy. That strategy is relational marketing. You're going to meet enough people to set yourself financially free. If nobody you know now wants to participate, which is very unlikely, you're going to meet enough people over the next 6 months. You know why I say that sentence all the time? People don't realize this. Because I've built large teams and large organizations with people that I met after I joined the vehicle, after I decided to participate with the vehicle. A lot of our freedom, the Chamberlin financial freedom, has come from meeting somebody or asking somebody for a referral, somebody we didn't know when we started. And we're going to talk about faith in just a second. As we flip to page 8, we're beginning to talk about these things. And, you know, you hear us talk about the 3 essential components of a model: the company, the people, the system. But let me add another thought to this today. You know, if you're going to really embrace what this model is about with the system, we know we got a great company. We know we're attracting people. The people that are on this webinar are phenomenal people. But you got to get conviction about the system that we're helping people with. This system not only teaches them how to build a business, but it grows people's lives in a way that they can continue to get more effective, more influential. Here's what's interesting, Brig. I've been around the industry now long enough to know that if people plug into this system, let's say they work this part-time and that's their vision, they just want to make a little bit of money part-time, and they really plug into our system, they hit maybe the Ruby level over the next year. Let's say that it's a part-time effort, Ruby level the next year. Here's what happens when they plug into our system. Let's say they own a full-time business. They begin to actually apply the principles they learn in this to their conventional business, and they might make millions of dollars doing that while they're having fun learning and growing here. You know, these are time-tested principles, ladies and gentlemen. Being a gold member is not a joke. This is for real. Getting access to everything you possibly can get, and I'll tell you, over the next few months, this gold membership is going to keep getting more and more valuable with more things that we're adding. They're all great memberships. But
and by the way, the memberships are for personal folks. Understand a system is for personal development. When you plug in, every business worth its salt helps people to grow personally and professionally. Folks, but how many companies you know put it in a handheld book, a booklet form that they can walk around and access 24/7. And anytime someone asks, what's your mission, what's your membership, what's your marketing strategy, how in the world is this laid out? Folks, when people now ask me, how's that thing work? I said, well, that's page 8. I said, we got 3 components: a great company, great products, great group of people that we attract to our mission and our membership model and our marketing strategy. And then we have a systematic way to teach them. And it's all enveloped in hope. All the while, we're doing something great for the community, eradicating childhood malnutrition. Folks, point to the page. And all of a sudden, plugging in to this systematic way of building the business is what involves it. So here, you plugging into a systematic way of building the business and having it available, folks, you're light years ahead of all the other folks. And yes, this will bring sense to all the people in what you're doing with your home, your family, your personal life. This will improve you because remember, back to 99.9% of success is attitude. This will develop the right attitude because all of a sudden you realize, I can do this. And that order makes sense to me. It'll make sense to other people. Folks, personal development, what are you willing to invest in yourself? You feed yourself 3 times a day, physically. Why wouldn't you feed yourself mentally? $29, $59 a month or $49 a month to access information that people have already gone before you. You're going to walk through a minefield, follow somebody. Let us take the arrows. We've done it. So we've written out the things, stay on track, paint by the numbers. So what's it worth to you? Personal development. Companies spend hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars to send their folks to these things. And what do they really get from it? A way to promote a business that one guy on the top and the top echelon people really get the benefit of. You're just exchanging time for dollars. This is your business. You're the CEO of your company. What is it worth to invest? What's it worth to you? $29, $59 a month? Folks, in time, we'll have $100 a month because we're going to have the whole system set up. And that information is a bargain because it actually allows you to refine your activities so you're being, what in the front of the page, productive and effective. So if you accept by faith, you'll get more results quicker than the ones that keep questioning. Plug in, stay on track, invest in yourself.
It's a business, in my career, I think what I've seen is some people come in and they love the idea of freedom, but somehow this doesn't seem like a real business to them. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a real business. When we talk about plugging in to a system, I want to make sure you understand that because Brig actually put something here that defines that, because if we sometimes we just say it all the time and we don't define it. It's really a simple definition. Here's what it is. Read, listen, and participate. What does plug in mean? Read what we put out there, listen to what's going on, and then participate with Go Getter, participate with the Ruby Run, participate with the Go Diamond Plan, participate with
the 27th, the functions, the home meetings, the open meetings, the 27th event we're doing and saying, plug in. You've plugged in this. I started with you plugged in. You're here. You're asking us for this information. Get the most of it. Reading the information that we promote. Listening to the people who have gone before you, listening to them, and then participating, being there. There's nothing like being there. Go, Ryan.
Okay, so here we go. Remember, we're setting this up in the next 10 minutes or less. We're going to be entering into the 10-step pattern. We're going to break it down for you. But let's look at personal goals on page 9. Activity goals, Go Getter. How many times are you going to go Getter? When's the next date you want to complete Go Getter? And your structure goals. See, this is important. Can you imagine every new person entering your team be getting a copy of this and really starting to think through this? And here's what I want to do. This is only going to take 10 seconds for everybody watching. 188 locations, several hundred more people at each of these locations. Whatever level you're at, if you're at a 5K, I want you to go to this page on page number 9. And let's really, before we get off this training today, let's write the date that we're going to hit our next rank. Let's lead by example here. Let's write the date, which means I've got to write a date. Here's what's crazy. My 10-year-old son, I was goofing off with him the other day, and I said, "Hey, have you finished this? He was behind on his chores." I said, "Son, have you finished this? Son, have you finished that? Have you completed this?" And he was joking, and it's the way we joke around here, but he said, "Dad, have you finished Visionary Ambassador yet?" And I had to pause because I didn't have a good answer for that one. I wasn't expecting that to come out of my 10-year-old son. But the reality is, the rules apply at every rank. No matter what rank you're at, if you don't have a date, you're not going to back up a game plan. We all need to follow that. Let's flip to page 10. I'm going to hit the highlights. I'm just going to read some words here. I want you to read it. He's highlighted as well.
Yeah.
We've even got them bold.
Mm-hmm.
Productive and effective. That's what the mission of what we're doing is all about. We want to help people be more productive. This isn't about hanging out for years. It's about being productive for years and effective and learning from other people. Accepting by faith. I'm jumping down to the next one. I'm not reading the whole paragraph. You've heard Brig use the word faith. I'm using the word faith right now. There are some things you just got to accept that what we're telling you is for real. That we don't benefit financially by telling you anything that we think wouldn't work. I mean, and we obviously, many of the diamonds, blue diamonds ambassadors, visionary ambassadors, they are all coaching people on what they've done to get there. Accept that by faith. Your commitment to take action, to accept by faith, to be productive and effective, it's going to boil down to our commitments. Wisdom is the application of time-tested success principles. We all want to grow to be wise. You know, that's an interesting word to talk. There's some 18-year-olds that are on this webinar right now. And I want to tell you, you can be a wise 18-year-old or you can be a non-wise 18-year-old. You can be 80. You could be a non-wise 80-year-old or a wise 80-year-old. It's not about, it's really about the application of time-tested success principles. Of course, some things take time to learn. I'm not talking about that. There's a certain type of wisdom that only comes with experience. But there's a way you conduct yourself that can be more wise than other ways. And that's what we're talking about.
Hey, Ryan, this one is important because I know you might go by it. A multitude of successful businesses have been built by following this system. Your ability to accept, learn, follow, and teach the 10 steps found in the map book, coupled with a positive attitude, will largely determine the ease and the speed of your own success in the business. You can do it slow and painful, folks, or you can take it easy, work smart, plug in. But you got to accept, learn, follow, teach the right attitude.
That's it. You know, let's flip on over to page 11. Let's roll through it because we're making our way. And Brig, the next two pages, 12 and 13, we're going to have a fun conversation on them for a few minutes. But you got some keys to creating proper mindset and culture.
Yes.
You got 6 tips to creating a hope mindset and culture. Here's what I've learned. It's not that you haven't, me included, it's not that we haven't heard this stuff. If we've been around we've been in the world and we read books, we've read positive books, we've read things like this. Here's what has to happen for everybody. It's not that we haven't heard it or we don't know it. We just have to constantly be reminded of it. Yes. We have to constantly be reminded to be enthusiastic. If that's not our normal personality, I'm telling you, that's not my normal personality. I mean, I have to be reminded that sometimes, even though I'm excited on the inside, I got to be excited on the outside. I've had to work on that through the years. Be positive, be involved, be an owner. Here, let's just remind it. You own this, ladies and gentlemen. This is this is an asset. You own what you're learning, and you own this business. Be successful, be teachable. These mindsets create a culture for you and your team and your organization.
Absolutely. And it's really important that these 4 things are a filter I've used in my life, and you need to accept any decision you ever make. You need to apply through these filters. It'll bless you. It'll keep you on track. It'll protect you. It'll keep you safe and peaceful. Never get in a hurry. And I can scripturally back all these up. Be anxious for nothing, through prayer and supplication. Let your petitions be known to God. You know, don't be in a hurry. Anybody, hey, Brig, we can make $1 million. Get in today. Give me that $100,000. And I go, well, I'm going to miss out on that because I don't make decisions that quickly. I'm going to talk to my wife. I'm going to pray. So I am never in a hurry. Not that I don't hurry to go places sometimes, but don't get in a hurry. Don't get greedy. There's more than enough for everyone. You don't need to steal people from someone else. There's plenty of people, 6 billion people. Don't panic. There's an answer to everything, and choose wisely. You're going to find out these 4 become a filter in your life for making decisions. Your life will dramatically take a new turn for the better. You will start to find out you can live a peaceful, productive life, have joy in the process and peace in the journey, peace in the process and joy in the journey, you will start to find out you use those 4 things in building this type of a business, the people business. It'll bless your socks off. You'll have prosperity beyond what you can expect. So it's a proper mindset.
That's it. All right. Hey, let's flip to page 12. Will, if you could somehow rotate that page for me, just so that people can see that. There may be a way to rotate that. If not, you can everybody turn their head sideways or turn your map book sideways. And I want to remind you, there's a chat room here. If you have questions throughout this, feel free to ask questions in the chat room. And I'll try to scan over there while Brig's teaching and come back if we need to answer questions. But let's talk a little bit. Again, we're still laying some groundwork here. I know we've given a lot of mindset stuff. Let's start talking about how to think about your business, how to think about STPs, how to think about Go-Getter, how to think about what an engaged member is, because it doesn't matter how big our team is. Here's the cool thing. You can build an army with 5 excited people.
Yep.
I mean, we want everybody to do it, but that is not what's required to go diamond or blue diamond or ambassador. You just need a handful of people to engage. Sometimes you have to build a team of consumers and people that want to just kind of hang out to find the few that would engage. So this is powerful stuff as we go through this. So you want to really pay attention to what you consider. Setting your standards for what you're considering engaged is important. But look at this. This is just an example, by the way. Assuming that out of 20 personal STPs, that 16 of them said, this isn't for me. I don't think that's possible, ladies and gentlemen. I really don't. If you're doing this from a position of belief and the right attitude and the things that we've been talking about. But in this case, if you did 20 personal STPs, the way that we're teaching you, let's say you sponsored 2 members left and 2 members right. And you went to work with those members and you grew that membership model to where you had 10 to 20 people in your team. So you helped a few of them go giver and go maker. That's going to solidify a 2K business. And this is an example. My guess is by the time you personally enrolled 4 people, you'll have 10 or 20 people on your team because you will have helped them get started. And we're not talking about just selling products to people. We're talking about, in this case, personally sponsored members. Month 2, look what happens. Month 3, look what happens. Month 4, look what happens. Month 5. I'm not going to spend too much time on this page because we break it down here in just a minute. But we're going to be talking a lot about going 10 left, 10 right to set you up to go diamond.
And Ryan, the reason we did this is we're putting the goal in front of you and your people, because most important, you need to know where you're headed to. Everything's about going diamond. In our industry, it's about going diamond. The numbers in our business are 10 left, 10 right, 20 people in the business, a couple hundred people buying product. So this is just putting that goal in front of you. The whole book now, the whole map book supports you getting here. So you're getting it up in front. Remember, good presentation. Tell them what you're going to tell them. We're telling you here what we're going to tell you. This is what you're going to need to expect. These are the numbers. This is what when you see this happen. And in that time period, you notice something. It's a 5 to 12 month period to go diamond. So putting those numbers in, because after that, you'll notice it takes a little more time, a few more people, because the attrition rate will start. You got to create momentum. You got to create the proper expectation. So this is a 5-month plan to go diamond by basically going through 100 to 200 people, moving those marbles and putting those 10 left, 10 right, hope maker, hope giver, hope maker. And you will earn these levels will come with those numbers.
So to get you from point A to point B, to accomplish this goal, to have a team, the purpose of this training is not to beat around the bush. The purpose is to lay it out. So it leads me to really this page 13. Page 13. Yeah, here we go. Page 13 really is going to be one of them pages when people ask me a question about why can't they get their team to, how do they get their team to grow? How do they make it happen? What do I really focus on? Page 13 is going to be a page referred to. Here's why. Because the people that build big businesses have standards, and make sure that I'm not confusing you. I believe in talking to everybody. I believe in sharing this with everyone. But mentally, the higher the standard that I have really represents the higher the belief level I have, because I want to go after the most influential people. And I find that people that are frustrated oftentimes are talking to people that haven't been, they don't have successful mindset in what they're doing, and they expect them that if they can sign them up and evolve, that all of a sudden they'll be a successful evolver and that they'll build a business, and that leads to frustration. So how to think about prospecting without prejudging is really what this page is about, because I'm telling you, Brig, I'm letting you cover this one because I know this is your favorite page. So I know this is one of your favorite pages because it made such an impact on you, because as a young guy in the industry, you didn't have a whole lot of credibility when you began. You had to raise your standards at some point to decide who you were going to spend time with, and it made all the difference.
Yes. And what happened, Ryan, was remember the two words, productive and effective. Why would I want you just to be busy? People that stay busy in this thing, they already have busy lives. They don't have time, and all of a sudden you see them drift away. They need to be productive and effective, and they need to get results. When people ask me, hey, I've been in the business this long, time has nothing to do with it. It's your activity enveloped in faith, doing it the way we're teaching you to do it, that'll get the results. So watch, when people say, my organization's not exactly doing what they need to be doing, I says, well, a lot of times that's because, they're following the leader. Hello. But watch this. This is a good test for you, because we're talking about leadership too. We're looking for people who will lead. So watch this. If people say, well, what kind of people do you put in the business? Here is basically it. Now, I can boil this whole page down into 5 things. I'm looking for ambitious, trustworthy, hungry people, willing to work, willing to listen. But I broke it down a little further because this is exactly what I saw in the people who were making the business work. Doesn't matter whether it was, I've been in 2 businesses. These apply to each one of them. This is my 3rd venture. It's the same thing. We're in the people business. Sponsor prospects who are your socioeconomic level and above. Folks, sponsor people who got enough money to buy a kit. Sponsor people who got the attitude to go get the money to go get a kit. It doesn't mean, but your socioeconomic level is just a standard if you want to be, listen, productive and effective. Sponsor those people who you love, respect, admire, and who you would want to be associated with. Folks, I just had my pastor in my house last night. He's getting into business. He's my pastor. I love him. We are covenant friends. I called him because I said, I respect you. I've got something I want to do with you. And here's bottom line. Friends do what friends do. Sponsor those prospects who are on your attitude level and above. There's the big one. You believe you can. You're looking for people who believe they can. Why kick against the goat? Sponsor individuals, not titles or groups or associations. This is relational marketing. Folks, very important. I don't sponsor my pastor. I sponsored Paul Zink, who happens to be my pastor. I don't say, I'm going to go get the church. Will you give me a break? I've been doing this 37 years. I've never sponsored an organization. It doesn't work that way. And by the way, heaven don't work that way either. Churches aren't going to heaven. People are. And they're going to stand before God and give an account. So you sponsor people, not titles. I sponsor people who happen to be CEOs of companies. I sponsor people who happen to be housewives. I sponsor people who happen to be small business owners. But I don't go after small business owners. I go after people who are ambitious, trustworthy, hungry, willing to work, and willing to listen. I don't have to go down the whole things, but watch this. There's a couple of my favorites in here. Sponsor people one at a time. Sponsor people within your sphere of influence. Sponsor prospects who are ambitious. I got it right there. Sponsor happy people. No grumps allowed. Some of you are sponsoring grumps, and you're pulling them all away, and they're pulling you down. Quit sponsoring people who got negative attitudes, who always see the glass half empty.
Brig, I need you real quick to make sure you get more excited about this topic, okay? I need you to pause.
Last but not least, look for people who are looking. This page is what I point to when people say, what kind of people do I sponsor? I say page 13. Folks, you need to learn these pages so that you point to, it's fun to go through them too. But listen to this, even while you're listening to me and Ryan, is this not encouraging you because it's good information? Proverbs says reliable information permits progress. We want you to progress, you personally and your business. You sponsor these kind of people, your business will grow.
Powerful stuff. Got a question here. Will we be able to play this video with our team and train them? Will there be more map books available? Absolutely. uevolvestore.com map books are on sale now. This video series right here will be listed on the silver membership. Everybody that subscribed to this will get a copy of the video, but then for future references, we will have this, and periodically we may redo this. So powerful stuff for everyone. Hey, let's jump to page 14, and I'm going to move real quick here so we can get up to the 10-step pattern, because some of this next information, getting started and launching big, is stuff that your teams are already covering. We just want a reference point for all of it. We know that get with your diamond. This is to reference and support anything. We've come together as a group of diamonds, as a unified organization, and said, what do we all agree on is the way to get started and launch big? The principles are here. And of course, different personalities teach the principles different ways. It's all good stuff. Get with your upline diamond, follow this, but let's be unified. We are all following the same system. They hear the same launch strategies at every location. Page 15, we're moving the marbles. How many have heard about that? We're moving some marbles, and we're invite, tasting, and sharing. Invite, tasting, sharing. Is something Brig has used for years. We came together with the diamonds, with the ambassadors, and said, you know what? That's exactly what we're doing here. We're inviting people to look at this. We're letting them taste the product. Hey, there is no better. Doesn't this taste good, everybody? And we're sharing. We're STPing, sharing the presentation, solving the problems. We're handling all this STP stuff. That is what's going on here. And here's my point. Those of you watching this know what to do here already, because you can access it in our system. But the new people that join your team, if you want to get them on the same page, they say, how do I do this thing? Guess what? Go to page 14 and 15. This is what you're going to do with everybody on your team.
Yes.
This is how it's going to work.
It is the it's factor. It's simple. It's fun. It's Evolve Health. Invite, teach, and share. Invite, taste, and share. Invite, taste, and share. Remember, products are the products. Put the products in front of folks. But just always remember the it's factor. ITS. I've invited them. I'm going to let them taste the products. I'm going to share with them the 4 or 5 P's, the flip chart. But watch it. Very, very simple. Once again, we're directing you to, okay, what do you do? This is what you do on a consistent basis. And this is how you do it. And we're getting into why you do it. That's the attitude side. Moving the marbles, baby.
This is what we're doing. See, the map book, this is an extension. This is an extension of the map book. When people are utilizing this document, they're actually utilizing something that came out of now the map book. I know we came out with this document first, but this is the go-to explanation and reasoning so that we're all following the same system. If we roll into page 16 and 17, we're talking about building a model, duplicating a model, hope giver, hope maker. I mean, guess what? The back of the launch big, hope giver, hope maker. We're teaching in our presentation, hope givers and hope makers. In the formula for success, we got hope givers and hope makers. You're going to make $1,000 if you go hope giver, hope maker your first month. If you go help a few people do hope giver, hope maker on each side of your business, you're going to start making $1,000 a month.
It's a point too. I've had more people on the road. I went last week, and I'm going to take another tour east and west coast. Interesting how people bring me people who know all these people. And I said, that's great. I said, since you know all these people, I said, it's real simple. Let's put your best friend on the left and right. Put your mom, brother, or sister on your left. Let's make this thing happen. Put 2 people in, 1 left, 1 right, get you active and qualified. You know what's interesting? You'll find people walk away because they'll want to talk about knowing all these people, and they won't put 1 left and 1 right. This model that Ryan's talking about is our building block for how you build. When we talk about 10 left, 10 right, it's 10 hope givers and hope makers on the left. 10, that's how you go diamond. So the numbers will come together, but you got to have the proper building block. So you get active and qualified. 1 on your left, 1 on your right that's doing what you're doing. On the core life products, doing 300 points worth of products. Our whole model is built on you doing the 300, using your products, product of the product, helping 1 left, 1 right do the same, and help them do the same thing. You help too, they help too. There's your building block for the entire business, your entire career. Go for it.
Page 17 is just a summary of the 5 things we have in our launch plan.
Yes.
Building a list, inviting, tasting and sharing, following through, plugging into the system. And as we jump to page 18 and 19 and wrap up this first section of our training before we get into the 10-step pattern, we lay out a Moving the Marbles 5 to 12-month program for going diamond.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, the first 17 pages I've covered has been a lot of mindset. It's been a lot of focus stuff. It's been a lot of preparing us to understand how to think about what we're doing, and we want everybody on the same page. Page 18 is really, here's what we got to go do. Here's what has to happen. And I want to tell you, what I love about this page is it really is exactly when people come, they say, Ryan, I want to meet you. I want to counsel with you. You know, and I try to do that as much as I can with the people that I know are working. Okay, if they sat around for 3 months, I'll coach them over the phone a little bit and see what they do. But if someone really tells me, okay, what do I got to do to make this happen in 2016? I'm going to tell them you're going to need to personally enroll 20 people in a 3 to 5 month period of time.
Yes.
Not because you couldn't enroll 20 over the next 3 years. You could do that. But something magical happens when you take this page right here for what it is and you just go do it. I dare you. I dare everybody watching this to go sponsor 20 people in the next 3 to 5 months, because you'll create so much enthusiasm, excitement, belief. You'll end up with a couple of them that say, I'm going to do this thing with you. And you'll go ruby, emerald, diamond, whether you like it or not, if you do it in the right time frame. Now, you have to sponsor those people with what we talked about in the first 17 pages. You have to sponsor them, not talking them, begging them, or buying them a kit. You got to sponsor them into what they're a part of, so that they want to launch their business, so that they want to be a part of a movement that's going to eradicate childhood malnutrition, so that they want to personally get healthy. Brig,
Yep.
I know you're going to jump on this, but this is the deal, everyone. If there was a 2016 plan, this page is the plan.
Yeah, and listen to me closely, folks. You come in and there's 3 stages in the business. You get in and you believe in Ryan because he's done this and you believe that he can do it. Yeah, and you believe kind of in the products, but he's just a messenger. We're not the message. This is the message. We're just messengers. But you see that messenger and say, he's done it. Maybe I can do it. But they believe in you first. That's the first stage of belief. Second stage of belief, they believe and they start believing in the company and the products. They see their own results, get testimony. They plug into the system and start seeing the benefits of following this. But the third stage, when he's talking about this 90-day to 5-month run, is when the business moves from your head to your heart, because you believe in you, in this business, in this system, doing what we're teaching you to do. Then you're 3 months to 5 months away from going diamond. So folks, I don't care how long you've been in, you start this process when you decide, I get it. I'm ready to rock and roll. Today's the first day of the rest of your life. Draw the line, reset your goal, and go ahead and start the process. Stay plugged into this system. Then you'll see this thing come together, because this is your format for building a successful business that'll maintain itself.
Got some people that are saying they're taking the dare. In the chat room, I'm taking the dare 20 in 4 months, 20 in 3 months, 20 in 5 months. See, here's what happens. I've been around long enough now to know that there's some people that have been in our company for 3 years. But it's going to go from their head to their heart in 2016, right now. And in the next 3 to 5 months, they're going to go diamond. And so when they walk the stage as diamond, they will have a story that said it took me 3.5 years to get here. But here's what really happened. It took them 3 years to get to the point where they made a decision.
Correct.
It took them 3 to 5 months to go diamond.
Correct. Head to heart.
We're not mad at anybody if they've been a part of us for 5 years, but we want to tell you the truth. It's going to take 3 to 5 months whenever you decide it's going to take 3 to 5 months.
Stick to the knitting. Don't quit. Stay in. People evolve. People incubate. I was in the business 1.5 years before I got to 0. And then the other business, I was in 1.5 years, 1 year and 3 months before I decided, hey, with the system, we can do this. All of a sudden, then it launched. It doesn't matter how long you've been in. You're in. God bless America. You didn't quit. Don't quit on yourself. This is your business. Why would you quit on your business? So you stay in, but you're 90 days to 5 months away from diamond and making your $7,000 to $12,000 a month once it goes from here to here. And I promise you, with our social entrepreneurship model, it's not, we didn't change Evolve Health. It's an improvement beyond measure. They just put a blooming supercharger on the thing. And now eradicating childhood malnutrition. Who's saying no to feeding a child or 100? Let's do it, baby. Diamond this year, diamond.
This next page, I'm not going to go through every number on here. I'm just, look at my hand, everybody. This next page we broke it down. When we talk about doing 5 presentations a week, this is really what this is really what turns into the page. See, if you're going to do 5 presentations this week, that doesn't mean you hit diamond. It just means you're going diamond. You still got to do 5 next week and 5 the week after that. Eventually your team's large enough where it'll get easy to do 10 or 15 presentations a week. So in the beginning, you have to force it to happen. You have to push to make it happen. It's actually not that, it can be a pain in the neck to get it to happen sometimes in the first few months, but then it takes on a life form and you got to get it over that hump. But this is what it turns into, everyone. It's the slight edge effect. It's a simple daily actions that force you to create ultra amounts of momentum.
And everyone's going to go at a different pace. The reason these 2 pages, of course, you want to show them what's possible. If anybody get that, they're going diamond in 3 months, not in 3 years, 4 years. But watch this. The majority of people are going to start here. The consistency and persistency, showing 5 plans a week. Anyone can do that, folks. Anyone. So we go with what's believable. When they start seeing the results, they will up the ante. But this is a 12-month plan. You can go diamond in 3 to 5 months, and some people do. Most of them don't. The majority of them will follow this procedure. Get to a point where now it's a hobby, but it's becoming more a serious hobby. It'll turn into a career once they realize and believe I can do this. It will give me what I want. But here is the activity that you're going to need to do on a consistent basis to hit these levels.
Page 20, a model to build by. Brig covered this as a visual on what he was covering. We're really building teams left and right of hope givers, hope makers. We focus on the hope giver, hope maker model. We build it, and we drive that model, 10 left, 10 right, hope giver, hope maker. Out of that, remember, this never ends up perfect. What happens is somebody on this says, well, I want diamond. It never looks this way. But if you're focused on you doing your part to make this happen, a diamond shift is birthed out of this focus. That's the point, everyone. You know, this is exciting stuff. We're leading
with the foundation. All this is the foundation, folks. You got to build a foundation before the business builds. We're not drawing in your unilevel and all the personal. Those are personal sponsored people. That's your foundation. That's what will happen when that foundation is in place. You will hit the pin levels. So keep it simple. New people don't need to know all the details of identifying a leg and building the depth and all that. We'll get into that in leadership seminars, in business building seminars. The 27th in Sanford, we're going to be teaching some of that. We do this in leadership and go-getter meetings, but this is your foundation, your binary matrix. This is how, by the way, when people say, keep it simple for me, what do I need to do? I said, slam 20 people in, 10 left, 10 right on your socioeconomic level. And people that want something more, get them on the product, plug them into the system. That's your assignment. You do that, I'll direct you in the process. You put them in the hopper, we'll identify those ones that want to build, then we'll equip them based on what they want.
That's right. Hey, let's wrap up this section. We're going to take about a 5-minute break, but let's wrap it up with a couple of thoughts. We have the privilege of really being the first social entrepreneurship company to do what we're doing, to create a revenue share program that encourages. See, we could take the next 20 years and build a customer base that could help eradicate malnutrition. We could do that. But guess what? We want to do it the next 2 to 3 years. We want to do it So what do? We revenue share. This is a social entrepreneurship business that's led with a cause, but we don't hide the fact that there's money involved on the other side of it, and understand that. Yeah. And as we wind up all of this first section, the first 20, 21 pages here, it really boils down to the last couple of sentences here. Think you can and you can. Think you can't and you can't. It really is about how we think and process. It really is on who we're letting influence our thinking. We want us all, me included, I want you evolve to influence my thinking, because I know where it's coming from. I know where that influence is coming from. I know the type of thinking it is. As a man thinketh, we could cross out the word man. As a lady thinketh, okay? A woman, this is how we think. There's a book titled As a Man Thinks, and that's a scriptural reference as well. But it really boils down to our thinking patterns, and it boils down to how we adopt what we talked about. And Brig, you may have a final comment before we take a 5-minute break. We're going to be entering into a 10-step pattern when we get back from this break that absolutely you embrace it, you teach it, you live it. This is going to be the mantra of your business. And hey, we're about halfway through with this MAP training. Brig, any final thoughts before we take a 5-minute break?
Yes, sir. Everything you were teaching is wrapped up in this. Go to the next one. There it is. As you think. Folks, you don't get what you want in life. You only get what you picture. But guess what? Those pictures are generated by thoughts. So watch this. Very important that you read this. By the way, this is so valuable to you. You can access it 24/7. Folks, I learned to read this As a Man Thinketh every day for years until I got it in my mind that I was worthy, I was capable, I could do it. I could do what any other man had done. Listen, Ralph Waldo Emerson, sow a thought, reap an action. Sow an action, reap a habit. Sow a habit, reap a character, and sow a character, reap a destiny. So think good thoughts, watch yourself overcome fear, born of inferior feeling and development, and develop a positive mental attitude. As you read, As a Man Thinketh, each and every day until it becomes a part of your daily thinking. If you want to motivate a positive change in your life and your lifestyle from fear to faith, then you do the same. Remember, God says, as he thinks in his heart, so is he. Proverbs 23:7. You read this, As a Man Thinketh, every day until you get it and realize you are a diamond. Who out there is going diamond before we take a break? Who's going to be a diamond this year? Do you believe you can attract the 100 people on a list and 20 people in your group? Can you believe that you can do that? Yes, yes, and yes. Believe you can, and you can.
Hey, if you're going diamond, make a statement in the chat room. Get committed to go diamond. We'll be back in 5 minutes. It's 12:05. We'll be back 12:10. Be in your seats. Let's roll. We're having fun. Brig, great job, buddy. Great job,
Brian.
All right, everyone, grab your seats. In less than 60 seconds, we kick back off the next training. Welcome, everyone. We'll give you some time. Hey, give everybody in the room, if you're with your spouse, if you're with your team, everybody give a high five to everybody in the room. I'll high five Brig Hart right there. He's in Jacksonville. I'm in Florida. We're suffering in 80-degree weather today. I apologize about that, but it just is what happened. I grabbed myself a fuel. I'm going to be nibbling on a Life Bar. We're going to have some fun today. Here we go. So 30 more seconds. I'm looking at the clock. We're going to begin on time. We got a lot to cover in the next little bit. And, of course, you can reread this book as much as you want. Matter of fact, we recommend that you got it daily. It's one of these things where you are constantly going to be referring to. It's 40 degrees, almost 40 in Minnesota. That means they're in the 30s. They're working their way up to 40. And I saw a video with Nathan France in the snow. We didn't have a shirt on the other day. I was wondering what in the world was going on there, but that's the way it is. And we're having some fun with everyone. Okay, time to begin. So, Brig, we're back. Let's make sure we got our sound right. I think you're muted down. We'll kick it off. Just a second. There we go. So, hey, we're going to roll through. There's something called a 10-step pattern. Brig, you said, in the 80s, an 8-step pattern added a couple steps. We're talking about 10-step pattern. And so I just want to give you some thoughts because I'm going to have you kick off in the first 3 steps. And I know it's going to move quickly because they can read and reread. But and we don't need to pull that up yet, so you can take that off the screen just for now. We're going to come to that in a second when Brig begins. But the 10-step pattern, here's the way I'd like to frame my way of thinking about it and pass it on to you, that our viewers. Number 1, these are 10 things that you never stop talking about. These are 10 things that you never stop perfecting for yourself. But almost everything you deal with in this industry could be funneled back to a conversation that would easily be categorized in one of these 10 steps. It's a pattern, ladies and gentlemen. It's a flow. It's the way things happen. As we talk, it just never stops, and we have to embrace that. My guess is when someone stops building the business, there's a break in the pattern. Something broke in the pattern. It's not rocket science here. We can understand that they're, by pointing to this and thinking about it, really exactly what's going on. So, Brig, kick it off at the first 3 steps. I'll take a few steps in the middle, and then you can wrap up this. We'll make it quick because they can read this, but let's understand this pattern for what it is and begin to applying it and living our businesses by this pattern. Let me turn it to you.
Amen, Ryan. Hey, the 10-step pattern is just that. And as I was doing this, as Ryan was saying, it's a pattern that you follow, but it's also a cycle of activities that you do to create the results you want in you and your organization. Folks, 10-step pattern, here's what's interesting. You're going to learn this from top to bottom, from middle to end, the 4 things we do, the 3 things, the 4 things we do, and the last 3. You're going to find out this 10-step pattern. You leave any one of them out. It's like a car without a distributor, an engine without a carburetor. You leave any one of these 10 steps out, you're not going to have a balanced business, and it's not going to grow. So we came up with these based on what people were doing to achieve levels in the business. Diamond, of course, is our goal. We've got all the levels. If you're going to go 2K and remain 10K, you got to do this. Now, can anyone go 2K without doing it? Yes, but it's not going to maintain itself. Here's the deal. 10-step pattern. First of all, let's just go through it. You got to have a dream. You got to set some goals. You got to have some commitments. Those are the first 3 steps. And here's the deal. They are in order. They are in order. So defining your dream. What is it that you want out of this thing? And the whole thing is what? What is your reason for pursuing this opportunity? What is your dream? Most people have a tough time with that because their dream is suppressed over time. This is the very first thing. Success is what? The progressive realization of a worthwhile goal or dream. I have lots of dreams. So listen to what it says. Your vision will fuel your activity forward towards success. So it's a vision, a dream. Make a decision based on your desired outcome. You want to go diamond, you want to be free, then make that decision. This is the focal point that will motivate you to your action, that dream. Success is the reward you acquire for reaching your goal. Tangible and intangible hopes and dreams for time, money, freedom, that's what stirs the emotion. Without the why, we have a saying, when you figure out why, when you know why, you'll figure out how. The how-to comes, and this is the how-to, but we're starting it with the most important step of the 10-step pattern. Without a vision, without a dream, you're dead. You're dead in the water. You're not going to get up and do this if you don't have a dream and realize that this particular pattern for success, this vehicle that you've chosen, is going to take you to your hope and dream. This may be your plan B, but you have to have a vision for it. That's why having a vision for diamond. Why do we have to move the 200 marbles? It's a vision. You see moving one plan at a time, but the dream is what fuels you to do the activity. How many of y'all want to be free? How many of y'all want to go where you want, with who you want, when you want, how you want, the style you want to go in? That's freedom, folks. You can have it. 10 left, 10 right. See, that's the goal. So watch this. The vision, the dream. You start with a dream. What do you want so bad? What's a why that makes you cry? 2. Once you get that dream, and they evolve. Trust me, I don't have one dream, and I have tangibles and intangibles. Freedom's an intangible. But let me tell you something. I get a car in the car program. You qualify Ruby, and you qualify each month, and you get that $650, that $300 or $650. Guess what? That's a tangible dream that you had to get something. So you hit the goal. You set the goal to get to Ruby. What'd you get for hitting Ruby? You got a dream. You got a car. You got time. You bought a day back. You bought your wife a maid for a couple days out of the week so that you can relieve her of some of the stress. You bought a day back from, you earn an extra $1,000, $2,000 a month. You can buy a day back from the system. Is that your dream? What is it that you want so bad? I want a lot of stuff. So whatever your dream is. 2, the second step in the 10-step pattern. It's setting a goal. A goal is a dream with a date put on it. Remember, in our business, it's a level in the business with a date put on it. When are you going to get active and qualified? That date that you set, I'm going to do that in 24 hours or 48 hours. That's your goal. Your goal is to put one left, one right on the core max products so that you can become active and qualified. That's a goal, active and qualified. How do you go 2K? You do the same thing by helping them help 2 people. All of a sudden, you're 2K. You put one left, one right, help them do the same thing. Within the next 48 hours, all 300 points, you're 2K. See, you put a date on it. Without a goal, without a time period, how are you going to? It talks about goals are so that you can determine your progress or the lack of it. So goals, and most people are afraid to set goals, but folks, let me tell you, goals are set in a dream. Watch this. Goals are set in sand. Dreams are set. Or how's that go? Plans. I'll get it in a minute. Anyway, because sometimes you have to change your goals, but you set them in stone. You want to hit that goal, but plans are in sand. Goals are set in concrete. Plans in sand. What happens when you don't hit that goal? Folks, you reset it. It's real simple. But watch this. A goal, it's measurable, it's obtainable. The beauty of our industry is that anyone, for the first time, you can literally set. We know that Ruby is not going to buy freedom for everyone. Diamond could get you there, that $7,000 to $12,000 a month, but helping 2 to 3 people go diamond, 2 to 3 legs, earning you a couple $100,000 a year. All of a sudden, you can actually set a goal. Try doing this at your work. It's not going to happen. So setting a goal. You have to have a dream, then you set a goal. There's totally different. A dream is what you get for hitting the goal. Step 3, make some commitments. This one's simple, and then I'm done. The commitment side is what kind of time are you willing to commit to this to make it happen? What kind of time are you willing to invest, not spend, invest? Time, your energy. What are you willing to go do to make it happen? How many plans are you willing to show? How many products are you willing to put in someone's hands? How many phone calls are you willing to make? It's part of the Go-Getter program. So that the commitment side is, what am I willing to give this in time, in energy, and watch this, last but not least, substance. What are you willing to put in substance-wise? You're going to have to invest some money. You're going to have to buy some kits, buy some tools, invest in the U-Evolve system so that you can access the information. Without those commitments, those are the resources you need: time, energy, and resources. Dream, goal, commitments. Okay, Ron, now we're into the 4 things we do. It's all yours.
The 4 things we do, everybody. I'm not going to spend a ton of time on it. I want to hit some highlights, though. You know the 4 things we do. We've got great videos. Eric Goldenshot has a phenomenal video in the back office on the 4 things we do. We build a list, we contact, invite, we STP, show the plan, and we follow through. We build a list, we contact, invite, we STP, and we follow through. We build a list, we contact and invite, we STP, and we follow through. One more time. We build a list. You know, the build a list document that's for sale in the back is probably one of my favorite documents. And it took a little bit for it to rub off on me to become one of my favorite documents. But really, I think about this, when people take the time to actually write down names, that should be one of the qualifiers for you to be willing to spend time with them, is that they have a written list. If you want to really be productive and effective, why would you spend time with someone that has 3 names on a list when you know they graduated with 3,200 people to go to church with 400, and they're going to meet 20 people a month the rest of their life? If their belief system is to the point where they're saying to you they don't know anybody and they're 37 years old, we got other issues to work on before they're ever going to go diamond. They may need to incubate for a couple of years in our system before they make that 3 to 5 year run. It's amazing, 3 to 5 month run, sorry. So building a list, what do? We build a list. We teach them how to do that. This is part of the step. You never stop building a list. I'm adding people to my list. I've got, where's it at? Oh, this week I took a plane trip, couple plane trips, got a couple plane cards, met people that I sat on the plane with, got to have conversations with them. Didn't try to necessarily recruit them online, but I developed a relationship with them to the point where they're expecting me to connect with them. They're already asking me what I do. The list got bigger this week. That's my point. It gets bigger every week. I don't sign up everybody, just everybody I really want to sign up, because you know they're pre-qualifying themselves. We're building a list. Then what do? We contact the list. We've thrown a couple of invites in here. I'm going to tell you right now, one of the commitments U-Evolve has is to keep just helping people learn how to say the simple things they need to say. It's not about sitting here reading the script necessarily, although it's about staying within the guidelines and within the context of what we've got going on here, keeping it simple, making it, internalizing yourself. And when we contact and invite, we don't want it to sound canned. We want it to sound like we believe in what we're talking about. We don't want to explain everything over the phone, but we want to contact and invite with one purpose, that is to get them to taste the it's. Invite, to taste, and see the presentation. We want to STP. We can't do that over the phone. You can't smell a rose over the phone. You can't, you're not going to make any major decision in most cases over the phone. You're going to want to see something. So anything over the phone is going to mess it up. We invite so we can share the plan. We share the plan. Really, that's the next step. And let's talk about this here. Contact and invite. We've given you some ideas there. We now are sharing the plan. We have broken it down in home hangouts, one-on-ones, social proof, open events. We've given you a guideline of what happens so that if people want to know they can do this, chances are if they're just working with their upline, they're going to figure this out as they go. But it's right here. People don't have to wonder. They don't freeze up. They don't like, oh, what do I need to do at this home meeting? Hey, grab your map book, turn to page this. And they don't freeze up. They overcome that fear instantly if this is in writing, and that's what it's there for. So we're STPing. We become STP machines, ladies and gentlemen. That is really what it's all about. We're STPing. what do we do? We're STPing. We're showing the plan. We're solving the problems. We're taking care of what we need to take care of. And guess what we do? The fourth step, we follow through and answer questions. People are going to have a few questions, but we follow. Here's how I begin to follow through. You know when the follow through begins? As soon as I'm done with the presentation, within 2 seconds. The follow through begins when I hand out an application. Having a pack of applications for $10, you can get, I think it's 100 of these things, color back. You can't print them off for that. You get like 10 of them for $10 if you go off the depot front and back. Great deal, but we're giving applications. Why? We want them to be a customer or a member. They're more likely to be a customer if they have an app than if they don't have an app. They're more likely to become a member if they have an app than if they don't. We begin to follow through. We ask a few follow-through questions. Hey, what questions do I need to get answered for you tonight to get you started on sharing hope or to get you started on changing your life? Whatever it would be, it's right here. This is what we do. Here we go. We build a list. We contact and invite. We STP, and we follow through. If anyone's business is not growing, it's because there's a disruption in the pattern.
Yep.
You know, I got some people that are analyzing why their business isn't working. And when you open up their calendar, which we're going to get to, this has a built-in calendar. When you open up the calendar, they're still analyzing why somebody didn't join 3 months ago. Here's what you got to do if you want to grow in this business. You have to analyze your business in real time. You can't analyze what happened a year ago. You're a better person today than you were a year ago. You're better at presenting today than you were a year ago. The more STPs, every month that you go-getter, you get better. Even if no one joined this month, guess what? And you were a go-getter, guess what you just did? You just learned 20 ways not to do something. Let's go improve it, and let's go make it happen. Next month, you might get a 40% closing ratio. If there's a disruption in the pattern, you're not going diamond. You're not going diamond if there's a disruption in the pattern.
Right.
Let me say it one more time. If you want to go diamond, don't disrupt the pattern. Don't pause a whole lot to overanalyze. Look, here's what you do. You grow while you go. We're coming to the next step here in just a second. The next couple of steps, launching, counseling, and duplicating, steps 8, 9, and 10. But here's the 4 steps. Build a list, contact and invite, show the plan, follow through. It's what we're doing. It's built on the dream, the goals, the commitments.
Yes.
You're not going to do these 4. We're up the pattern setting. The pattern's going. Here we go. And guess what? When people start joining the team, we got to move to step 8. Brig, let's go back and forth on these last 3.
Yeah.
Because
before we go forward, I'm going to read part of because this is important in the lead to getting started. Most prospects will not ask you what to do to get started. Instead, you should ask them what they like best about hope. Then ask them if there's any reason they can think for not taking advantage of being a part of the movement. Folks, all this information's in here. We've been doing this. Again, refer to. Hey, Brig, what do I do to contact and invite? Oh, that's page 30. Contact invite, that's page 27 through 31. Brig, how do I show the plan one-on-one? Oh, get your calendar out, turn to page 31. Let's go through it. Hey, Brig, what kind of people do I saw? Hey, that's sponsoring people. Let's go back. It's billed by the number, sponsoring tips. That's page number 13. Folks, you need to learn this. Okay, so watch this, 10-step pattern. Let's repeat it. Got to have a dream, got to have a goal, got to make some commitments. Then the 4 things we do. We make a list. We make a list. We contact, we show the plan. We follow up. The fortune is in the follow-up. You've done 80, 90% of the work. All you have to do is follow up. What do you do at a follow-up? The same thing you did. You go back to the products, the plan. What did you like best? And then it's a reason to show the plan again. Normally it takes about 3 times them seeing the plan, the 5 Ps, the flip chart before, and it's not just the flip chart. It's walking through that basic information again, and then you asking the question. So step 8, launching is getting started. So how do you get started? Well, it's all right here for you. And by the way, how do you get started? One of the skills of getting started is knowing what you have available for them, because watch this, they want to get to the money. They want to get to the rewards. But in getting started, you have to ask them basically where they're at. Now watch this. In the launch, getting started, watch it. This is basically for builders, because there's not a whole lot to get a customer started. That's why you have your sheets, your sign-up sheets. They basically, after a presentation, how do you get started? It's on the back of your, you know, I like keeping it simple too, because step 8 in getting started is also in your presentation of your formula for success. It's on page, it's basically 4 to 5. One, how do you get started? Well, you choose whether you're a customer or a member. Then what happens? Well, you pick your product, because it's all about moving products, and then choose your hope pledge. Watch this for builders, and it goes through much more detail in your map book, how to get started properly. So you see how this works together? You see how these are working together? This is your go-to. It's in your pocket. Gals, it's in your pocket book. As a matter of fact, I'm telling you, if you don't keep this with you, there's a reason you want this available, because it's your reference guide. You want your prospects to see you referencing. Let me see. What do we need to do to get you started? Help them begin to launch their new business. The goal really is to get your new member to engage right away with extreme focus. This is best accomplished by get your calendar out and setting the first 1 to 2 hangouts. See, it's all about having a meeting. It directs you in what to do. So watch this. In getting started properly, determine what they want, when they want it, and then you direct them. And you know what you direct them to? Step 1, what's your dream? What's your reason for getting in? What kind of goal? You want to go diamond in 90 days, or you want to do it in a year? You want that $7,000 to $12,000 a month, or you just want enough money to pay for your product, 1, 2, free? Find out what they want, and then you apply the practical information on what to do to get started. I don't put launch big in everybody's hand. Why would I do that when they haven't decided that they wanted to build a big enough business to make an extra $1,000, $2,000 a month? So step 8. Getting started. So you followed up, you're showing the plan again. Now, do you see any reason why you wouldn't want to get started in improving your health and helping to feed a child? Great. So let's get started. This is where you basically are leading them into a decision. You never, hey, how much money you want to invest? You tell them. Based on what they tell me they want out of this thing, I'll tell them what it's going to take. So that's going to help guide you. Step 9. We go to counsel upline.
And Brig, let me say this about launching, because it's a skill set, everyone. This can be learned. This is not just because you got a certain personality, you're better at it. You know, some outgoing people have to tone down. Some not outgoing people have to tone up. You know, here's what I've learned about launching. It's your ability to get people out of their comfort zone and to take action.
Yes.
You've got to develop that skill. If there's a break in the pattern, your business is going to be affected. If you know that you're having trouble getting people started, that's what you're going to, step 9, counsel, that's what you need to work on. If you're sponsoring people that don't meet the criteria that we laid out in the first 20 pages of this book because they're watching 5 hours of TV every night, you're not going to get that guy started. Even if he liked the product and said he wanted to go diamond, there's some people that are, it's just, all this works together, everyone. Here's what I want to tell you. There's some things that you can get people, when people have made a decision that they want to do this, getting them to move forward in the first 24 to 72 hours is that's prime time, because they're excited. There's an energy about the decision that's there that if you help take advantage of it, which is why early on in the book, I think Brig put in here that, when we're talking about going hope giver, hope maker, we're talking 24 to 72 hours. That's not a 2-month project here. No. Let's go take action. And so we've got to build the dream. We got to do these things so that people resolve to actually launch. And that is your job. It's your job to equip them with what's on here. It's your job to launch them and to get better at it. Listen, I don't get everybody that I sponsor to launch. It doesn't happen. But because I take the approach of this pattern, I get a higher percentage of them to launch than what. And all you need is a little higher percentage to translate into thousands of extra people down the road. Let's go to step 9, Brig.
Also, if you're not equipped to get them started, folks, if you don't have your map book with you, because you can always refer to it in front of them, but watch this. If you don't have your calendar with you to book your meetings, now you've got a mini calendar and your planning calendar. Watch this. If you don't have a kit with you, If you don't have your flip chart with you, you don't have the products with you. In getting someone started, they want something. You got your samples with you, but be equipped to be able to get them started. By the way, you teach them by showing them. So be equipped with what you need to get them started too. So yes, step 9. Let's get to the counsel upline. This one's real simple. Many businesses pay big dollars for consultants to come in and direct their business because they don't have all the knowledge. They're too close. They're so close to the forest they can't see the trees. In our business model, you know what's built in? An upline. And you don't just counsel with a person that is your sponsor upline unless they're plugged in, actively building the business. Most of the time, golds can sponsor you to gold. Rubies can counsel you to go ruby. But rubies can't counsel you to go diamond. You gotta go to the upline diamond. Ambassadors will teach you how to go ambassadors. They can teach it. They did it. So here's what's beautiful. Built-in counseling that, guess what, cost you $0. It's just the fact that you respect their time. Look at this. Counsel with the wise and become wise. It is a proverb, folks. There are people who have already done it. They're the ones that can teach you with conviction what they did and how they did it. Take advantage of that, but here's what it's going to teach you. You respect their time, folks. The minute you waste their time and ask stupid questions, let me tell you, they're going to remember. It only takes about 2 or 3 times. They may not be working with you as directly. That's why we have caller ID. We work in depth to find somebody that is listening. And
Brig, you know why I've found people don't. This is a big break in the pattern, by the way. We're almost there. We got to step 8, and then we decide that we're not going to counsel to get better. I mean, it breaks up the entire pattern. Doesn't mean the people you're counseling with are better people than you. It's just they've been there, done that. You should only be counseling with people that have been there and done that. Counseling with the guy that's not doing 5 presentations a week is not a wise idea. That's not wisdom. It's not productive and effective. But you know why I found out people break this pattern right here? It's because if they're not doing anything, the accountability of talking to someone that is holding them accountable, someone they respect, bothers them to where they just don't pick up the phone and call. And here's the flip side of it. That accountability is why you should be doing something, because you want to not waste the time of your upline. Yeah. You want to be counseling based on what you're doing, not calling your upline so that they can try to get you to do something. So you got to call your upline, but you got to be doing something to call your upline. So we got to do something to not break the pattern.
Yeah. Do you know why we're teaching counsel upline? Because it's against most people's nature to humble themselves and ask. The beginning of wisdom. Listen to this. Humility and the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. Folks, you want to ask. I saw a chat. How do you know who your upline diamond is? It's called line of sponsorship. Everyone has a line of sponsorship from your sponsor all the way up. In your line of sponsorship, trust me, there is somebody that's either a ruby, emerald, or a diamond, or an ambassador, because you're all in our organizations. If you can't find anyone that's actively involved, call us. You can go on your website and your back room, and you can find out who your upline ruby, emerald, diamond. It's sad when you don't know, but that's why people don't know this. This has not been available to them. It's important. I mean, you can't do step 9 unless you knew who your upline is. So counseling with the wise, the people who have already done. Step 10, duplicate and replicate. Folks, let's say it again. What is it our goal is in our industry? To build, manage, maintain a business, and then replicate it. This step, 10 step, duplicate. This is what sets us apart from any other job or traditional, conventional business. You can replicate this very simply. You want to replicate a McDonald's, get yourself about $2 to $5 million out and get on a waiting list for 2 to 5 years. You know how I can replicate my business, Ruby, Emerald, Diamond, 2Ks, 5? Just find somebody that wants something more, wants better health and willing to do something about it, physically, financially. Find somebody that's got a heart and a soul that wants to help feed children. So guess what? I can replicate my business. But watch this. You duplicate. Our goal is build, manage, maintain the business, the first 9 steps, and then to replicate what? Your activities that are producing. And then you replicate this 10-step pattern. It's real important that you understand. If you can't recite this forwards and backwards, why would you think someone in your group's going to? So define your dream, make some commitments, or set a goal, make some commitments. The 4 things we do: we build a list, we contact and invite, we show the plan, and we follow up. Then we get started, we counsel upline, and then what do? Duplicate those 10 steps over and over, over and over. It's a cycle of activity. Once you get to the dream, you start all the way. Every person has to begin with the dream, setting a goal, making a commitment. It is a cycle of activity. So duplicate. Folks, the beauty of this thing, there's 6 billion people out there. All of them want something more. Half of them are entitlements. Cut them out. We're not in any other country except the U.S. and Canada for right now, so you can eliminate. But guess what you got? Oh, you got about 500 million people that want something more. Cut them in half. Okay, so we got 250. You know what you need? 10 left, 10 right to replicate this 10-step pattern and get you to be free. 10-step pattern, folks. Learn it, accept it, grow with it. There you go, Ryan. Those are the 10 steps.
Awesome. Everybody, we've got 20 minutes or so to cover a lot of info.
Yep.
The good news is that we're in the home stretch here. If you embrace the 10-step pattern, if you embrace the first 20 pages of the map book, if you begin to follow through with what we're talking about, this is powerful, powerful information. Pages 44 through 49 should just fire you up. You should get so excited about these pages, you should want to reread them over and over and over again. I'm not going to read them word for word. I want you to read them, but I want to tell you what's in them. And Brig and I are going to discuss them. First of all, there's 10 motivational tips that's listed here.
Yep.
I also want to introduce the concept of that there's a calendar in the back half of this map book. You know, oftentimes, let me say it this way. You can tell whether or not someone's committed by looking at their calendar. In 5 minutes, you can tell whether or not someone really is wanting to go diamond. What happened in January? Let's look at our January calendar. Let's look at the STPs. Let's look at what they plugged into. And a lot of people don't want to show you their calendar because it might only represent 2 or 3 hours worth of actual work the entire month, and they're wondering why it's not working. It takes a commitment. We've got to get disciplined with our calendar, and we're going to come back and forth to that. But to keep us motivated, here's some tips that we should read. Tips on how to share the product, on personal use, on preferred customers, how to listen to audios, why to listen to audios, and watch videos. Why to read.
Yes.
Participation. Read, listen, participate. Read, listen, participate. All of that, everything in here is funneled into that. We're reading, listening, and participating. Counseling, that keeps you motivated. Total accountability and integrity, relationships, having faith, reading some of these thought processes over and over and internalizing them keeps us wanting to keep our calendars full.
Yes.
So and I know, Brig, you'll say a few things about this, and I'll pause, but we're getting ready to talk about the Go-Getter program, focusing on Ruby and building rubies to go diamond, building depth. And there's only so much we can say about this, but understand that these concepts are introduced in the map book. But the way you perfect these concepts is by being a go-getter, doing the activity, and through counseling. Everyone's business ends up a little bit different. There is no exact, your business is going to be exactly this size when you sponsor this many people. Or you got different personalities. So that's where counseling comes in, because we're dealing with people. People throw curveballs on you. Some people, you got to deal with different personalities, different ways. So counseling comes into that. But these motivational tips really is what keeps this Go-Getter program alive. If you want to know what's going to really, really set you apart, really this entire 2-hour training, you may rewatch it, this entire book, every material, every event that we do, every call that we counsel on, every 3-way that we help with, every marble we move, every invite, taste, share we do, all this stuff is really, all this motivation is to get people to do this.
Yes.
I mean, I really summarize it. I know that I don't want to belittle everything else we're doing, but I do want to say this. If you're doing this, chances are you're listening, and participating in everything else we're teaching. And so, Brig, let's talk about, you may mention something about motivation, but I want to roll right into Go-Getter for time's sake. hit some highlights. We have a go-getter training, by the way, in our U Evolve Center. We constantly are teaching on it, so I'm sure we're not going to go through as detailed as we might, but hit the highlights for us on go-getter, why it is got to be part of the plan to go diamond in 2016.
Amen. First of all, let's understand what go-getter is. It's not just about what you do. It's who you are. You are a go-getter. How do you understand that? Read the book. Get the go-getter. I've got a whole case of them downstairs. One of the first books I give out, one of the second books I give out, Now You Know, by Ryan Chamberlin, because I want people to be able to get the results. And what he talks about, even in his books, if you're not committed to doing the activities on a consistent, persistent basis, you're not going to get the results in our business. So people can want all day long. What is a go-getter? A go-getter is a mindset. Read the book and you'll understand that it's not doing whatever it takes, it's doing what it takes. There's a difference, folks. And that's what the book goes. The Go-Getter program was established as an activity program, and that's what it is, so that you can get maximum results. Folks, the activity that pays, the creative stage of the business, build, manage, defend, and blame. The first stage is the build stage, creative stage. What is the one activity you can do that'll move the marbles, that'll move your business forward, that'll move you forward personally to grow? It is actually sharing the program. We call it STP, show the plan. So we created a Go-Getters program realizing that there's a certain number that if you'll do each month, you will see your business progress. It's 15, 20 plans. We put 20 on there because 4 times 5, there's 4 weeks in a month. You show 5 plans a week, that's 20. So a go-getter, this is an activity. The Go-Getter program, this daily dozen of the 12 activities anyone can do, will they do them? That's up to you. It's based on your dream. How bad do you want it? Will you get up and do the first 6, the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 activities? Get up, give thanks, family time, exercise, review your goals and dreams. Then put a check. Can you do them? Yes. Will you do them? I don't know. Then use your own products. Can you? Yes. Add to your list daily. Meet some people. Make prospecting calls. Set up an appointment. Connect with 5 or more people. Read and listen. Can you do all those things I just said? Yes. But these are the activities that people have gone before you. Diamonds do this every day. And then it's show the plan. You do these other 11, you will show the plan. Positive confession, I'm a diamond. On the back of this card, it's very important. The Go-Getter program was developed so that you could direct your activities. The reason you need these calendars is because you ought to be putting an STP. Once you STP, you circle it. Once you have shown the program, flip the flip chart, put products in their hand, followed up, then you have personally shown the plan, whether you do it one-on-one or whether you do a home meeting that you do for your group. That's one for you and that's one for them because it's a night out of your life. Proven and effective set of activities. These activities, when done consistently, week to week, month to month, will create momentum and long-term growth. A go-getter places the products. They share the opportunity. They do their 300 points. They use the daily dozen. A go-getter becomes a go-giver is a go-getter. Given it shall be given to you. Move the marbles. Go-Getter program is the activity program. What Ryan's going to talk to you about is the structure. Activity is what you do. Remember, it's who you are too, because it's a mindset. But he's going to tell you about the structured program so that you can place the people and see. One's activity, one's structure. Ryan, let's go for it.
Awesome. And, I want to tell you, if you're going to take Go-Getter serious, there's things you want to plug into. Matter of fact, you want to text the word Go-Getter to the number 41411. Why? We have a Friday Go-Getter accountability call. There's people that said they were going to be Go-Getters that maybe haven't been dialing into that call. That doesn't make sense. That just doesn't make sense. Either you are a Go-Getter or you're not a Go-Getter. It's not a long call. Headed up by Visionary Ambassador Nathan France helps organize that with all the other leaders. So different people are speaking every week. But it's a go-getter call. It's you connecting back to the commitment you made to do the 11 things that leads to the one thing. The 11 things that leads to the one thing. Making a weekly recommitment to that is what that call is about. And it's going to keep, it's getting better. The information's powerful on that. we use Go-Getter as the activity plan. We use Ruby, focused on building Ruby. Here's what we teach it. Again, remember, we've laid out how to go diamond, 10 left, 10 right. If someone wants to go Ruby, though, quickly, here's what we do. We lay out a plan to go 5 left, 5 right, and help a certain number of those hit Hope Giver, Hope Maker. See, from day one, people getting into the business, they want to know, they don't want to have to think about every single thing they need to do. If someone's joining and says, hey, I want to make a little bit of money, we can show them how to make a little bit of money. They say, listen, I want to get to that Ruby level. I want to be evolved driven. I want to generate 2,000 to 3,000 a month, and I want to go diamond this year. You got to go Ruby before you can go diamond. So diamond's great. We love diamond. But if someone's not a Ruby, they've got to zone in on putting 5 left, 5 right before they ever stand a chance of growing a Ruby, to Emerald, to diamond business. And here's what's crazy. Just about everybody that goes 5 left, 5 right creates, in a 3 to 5 month period of time, creates some momentum that ends up leading to the 10 left, 10 right. They create some energy in their organization. They create the Ruby run, we've got it. And so understand what's here, why it's here. And as you're coaching new team members to come in, again, you're not going through 2 hours of detailed training on all this stuff. But as questions are coming up, depending on what they want, depending on their dreams, goals, and commitments, you can now direct them on what they need to do. And of course, here's what happens. When people go 5 left, 5 right, then their business is usually big enough where if they properly identify 4 or more people that'll do the same thing, they're going diamond whether they like it or not. You get a couple people that decide to go on a Ruby run left, a couple people decide to go on a Ruby run right. You're hitting diamond in 2016, ladies and gentlemen. And so this is not complicated. It all points back to, now I didn't say it wasn't hard. It's sometimes hard to stay focused. It's sometimes life happens. We got things, we've all got children things going on, business things that we don't know that are going to, we got life that happens. Didn't say it, I just said it wasn't complicated. But you know what? The hard work is what makes it rewarding. We're talking about freedom here. That has to be earned. And over the next year to two, you can buy back the next 30 years of your life if you will put some energy. See, the next year, 2017 and 2018 are coming, whether we want them to come or not. The question is, will you be free by that?
Yeah.
Or will you still be frustrated messing with somebody else telling you what to do the rest of your life? This is a freedom plan. Go-Getter leads to Ruby Run, leads to Diamond. That's how it works. These are our strategies. All the time as people are coming into our organizations, you'll see a little paragraph on depth. Depth is one of my favorite conversations. We're not doing we need to do a webinar. Brig, we need to do a Hope Connected just on driving depth.
Yep. But
before we get to that, people have got to embrace the 10-step pattern and embrace the way of thinking and embrace the Go-Getter plan. Because if you're not doing Go-Getter while you're driving depth, you're not going to get the full effect of it because nobody's going to follow someone that isn't leading by example. We're driving depth. We're working with contacts to tap root, to find out who they know, and we're working with them to where leaders end up showing up in the organization.
Hey,
that's what I have to say up to that page. I want to turn it to you before we start to do the final few minutes of our class today.
Amen. Back to the building depth. Very key. You lay the foundation with the 10-step plan. You lay the foundation with the activity goal of Go-Getter. You lay the foundation. By the way, help 2 people go Ruby. You go Ruby, you've helped 2 people go 10K. You help 2 people go Ruby, you go Emerald. You help 2 legs go Emerald, you go Diamond. Folks, it's pretty simple. It's just a building block business. But here's the deal. This building depth, you will understand we have a binary married to a unilevel. You identify those legs over in the unilevel. Those are your 3, 4, and 6 legs that are tracked in your back office. And you're going to spend 1 to 2 nights a week in your 2 to 3 biggest legs, your legs that are growing. You bring all the other people. So there's a strategy to building depth so that you can build and replicate your business. It is in depth. It's not sponsoring 1,000 people. It's putting a few people, identifying the leaders, helping them to get started. So how do you build depth? You help each and every person start where they're at. What you're looking for in depth is a person like you that'll plug into the system, plug in and doing what they're doing. That's who you connect with. Every 3 to 5 deep, you'll find someone like you. So now let's go on. So there's much more in here, folks. We're not trying to give you, teach you the whole networking strategy and relational marketing philosophy. We can't do that. But folks, now you've got a quick hit reference that puts you on target to understanding your industry. We want, by the way, even in the system, there's casual builders, there's moderate builders, there's serious-minded builders, and there's career-minded builders. Based on your commitment to where you want to go is how we feed you what you need. So let's go forward. What do we got next?
And this is really where we're kind of winding this up. This is exciting right here because, you know, and after this is over, I want you to go through and go into the back and read the map nuggets. Read them yourself, study them, embrace them. But let's end on this note. Let's end on a note. We want to give a call to action, talk about things, but here's what we're doing all this for. We're identifying leaders.
Yes.
Now, to identify one, we first have to become one. So here's some standards of excellence that oftentimes, Brig, and I know you've experienced this, someone in your group will call you and say, man, I found me a leader. Or, man, that leg's done. I don't have to worry about that leg anymore. And that a lot of times it's misguided assumptions because here, let me shock you a little bit. Leadership isn't based on rank. Although oftentimes people that hit ranks are leaders. That's not how we want to identify for the security of our futures and our organization and our income and our impact is not necessarily based on rank. It's based on qualities. So you don't just proclaim somebody to be a leader because maybe they went out and found a couple of people that decided to build the business and they hit a rank. Someone doesn't get proclaimed to be a leader. They are a leader. And to be an our leader, I'm saying that wrong, but you get the point. It's based on a certain set of principles. And so how do we identify what from this day forward, as we're driving depth, as we're being a go-getter, as we're working with our team, what are the standards that we begin to hold ourselves to so that people will want to replicate what we're doing? And who are we identifying? Let me say this. We don't make people do any of this. Your job isn't to get people to do this.
No.
Listen to what I'm saying. Your job is to inspire people to do this.
Yes.
And you can only inspire them by being what you're looking for. Brig, wrap this up with talking about identifying leadership and where do we go from here to enter into the biggest and the best year ever for Evolve Health.
Yeah, we're going to identify those 100 diamonds. That's just a goal that we corporately have set to go to the 100 million plus mark, but because a diamond does, $1 million a year in business. So identifying 100 diamonds, $100 million business, we begin. Folks, how do you do that? By looking for leadership qualities. A leader is servant because even in the back of the book, it talks about servant leadership. It's very important that you understand that we're looking for people who honor other people. We're in relational marketing. Jesus said, if you want to serve, he who serves best is the kind of leader. He who serves best is the best kind of a leader, he who serves. So, and the deal is he didn't come to be served, he came to serve. So the greatest of all of us is servant to all. Well, watch this. They are plugged into the U of All support system and they're active plugged in upline. They are members who are doing all the steps of the 10-step pattern and teaching their group to do the same. As you build in depth, you will be able to identify the leaders and potential leaders by the following characteristics. Folks, when we go through these, this is a checklist for you because here's the goal. What Ryan just said, I'll wrap it up into a statement. Teach them by showing them. They don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. But watch this. You have to be the example. Do what you want them to do. Like it or not, there's a law in our business. What you do will be replicated. Good or bad. Folks, you're going to sit around, watch TV and watch and not have any of the products in stock and not have your calendar out, making it a priority, go to a function and show the plan and all that. You're just too busy being. Guess what? That's what you're going to replicate in your group. Folks, if you're a go-getter and you're fully committed, and the deal is you're living a balanced life where you're doing the daily dozen, you're spending time with your family, but you're still just as focused on helping your plan B to make it happen, show the plan, follow up. But they're going to do that. They only know what you teach them. So teach them by showing them. Hey, I like to just show you a leader are loyal and use their own products, resources, and service, have a dream and know their why, maintain a positive attitude, follow the golden rule, remain flexible, goal-oriented, dream-directed. Folks, there's a page and a half of those characteristics. You read them, but let me read this. Once you have identified these key people, a relationship that builds into a friendship will soon develop. The best investment of your valuable time will be with these leaders. I call them IRs. Intimate relationships are what solid businesses are built and sustained on. Note, the key to attracting people with these qualities is to be a leader yourself. We teach something so very important for all to take advantage of early on in their startup process. Follow the leader. This is the essence of working smart, not hard. Folks, do what you want them to do. Plug into the pattern. Look at that. Then we get into servant leadership on page 53, because if you really want to know the characteristics of a leader, here's even some scriptural biblical references, and then the membership principles, the 10 commandments of networking. Folks, most people don't even have the chutzpah to be able to print this. But if you're going to be in this business like Ron and I for life, we're not playing a game. We're not playing at this. This isn't a hobby to us. It's serious. These are the 10 commandments of network to build a solid business. Understanding that how you plug into these 7 pillars on the back of your page is all there. Last but not least, and I'll turn it over to you, the calendar is just as important as all the 10 steps. Keeping that with you so that you can see it, so that you can show it. People will see you and value you and your time when you value theirs. By having that in your hand, first of all, it creates curiosity. What's that? Oh, this is my pattern for success. This is my B plan. This is how I'm developing a secondary source of income to become a primary source. This is my $100,000 to $200,000 a year plan in this little book, and it teaches me what to do, how to do, and who to do it with. By the way, what are you doing Tuesday night? And you show them your calendar. Carry it, show it, use it, refer to it, and share it. Hold it in your hand. It's a way, it's a process, it's a systematic way to succeed. It's all right here. Unique, let me see. Unique but available. This is your path to your treasure, your dreams, and your freedom. Your mission, your vision, your objectives also are in the back. Before I close out, I want you to understand something. The reason we put our mission back here in the back of the book, the very mission, operational, look at this. The mission, vision, objectives. This is who we are and what you can expect from us. This is the heart and soul of You Evolve and the Evolve Health business. But this is the You Evolve, the heart and soul. No questions about our motive. They're in print, what you can expect from us. It's our motive and intent. What they can expect, no surprises, clear, concise, committed, dedicated, rock solid in our devotion and our passion. So we're going to be joyful in the journey and peaceful in the process. Here's your 10-step pattern. This is your map to success, your map to prosperity, freedom, and thriving. Let's impact 2016. You just have a tool in your quiver that can help anybody to reach this diamond level. 100 diamonds this year, Ryan.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be massive. This is going to be big. What you've witnessed today, we believe, and I'll speak for Brig and myself, we believe that you can take what you've learned today. We're actually a couple of guys that believe that anybody that wants to go diamond here at Evolve Health can take what they learned today. And yeah, through counseling and time and effort, and not saying it's going to be easy, but it's going to be worth it for you to take action on what you learned today. We believe you can do it. We're proud of what we're doing here. We believe that we're building a great company, a purpose-driven company, a company that people are going to look back and say, man, I can't believe what they've done. And we want to help you go diamond. That's our heartbeat. That's because of what it represents, not because diamond. It's because of what you have to become to be there, what you get from a freedom standpoint, and the principles that you get to impart into other people that we have referenced today. Grab a hold of this map book. This training is going to be available in your back office. You're going to want to have several of these. You're going to want to promote it. This is what we point to, everyone. Brig, Great job today, man. Thank you for participating. Thanks to everybody in all the locations across several countries that are watching this training. And with that, have a great day and God bless.